Afternoon, traders. Welcome to the More Analytics Afternoon Energy Podcast for April 27th, going into the 28th. Okay, we're going to start off with the natural gas. Left a minor gap open higher on the day, but did not go out strong on the day itself. Okay, starting off with the natural gas. The failure below 383 warned of pressure. We've come off a $1.33.5. A number of other bearish formations in here as well. And then in the June contract, the trade below 283.80 has brought in 188 ticks pressure down into here till we saw short covering today. That's now on hold with the maintain gap higher. Decent trade above this formation above, which is going to come in at 282.60. We'll warn of decent strength for at least 200 ticks. If we break above there decently and back down through it decently, look for decent short cover, decent pressure to come in. A maintain gap lower tomorrow will leave a minor bearish reversal above. In the crude oil, tomorrow has a good likelihood of seeing range expansion. The trade above 85.67 warned of decent strength. We've seen $12.72 of that so far. And a number of other bullish formations in there that are all on hold. I said the trade below 96.39 warned of decent pressure. We only came off 371 before short covering, but we're still below this line. Decent trade above this formation right here, which is going to come in at 97.16 -1 per hour starting at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That'll project this upward $4.80 minimum, $19.50 plus maximum. That's a pretty well-formed formation as well. If we break above there decently and back down through it decently, look for decent pressure to come in. A decent penetration in there is going to be 181 ticks tonight. Okay, in the RBOB or unleaded gasoline, we saw the range expansion warned about today, although not a lot of it. In the RBOB, the trade above 3.24 brought in 40.05 cents of strength. Probably a little bit more than that today, up to 340.29. Actually, I'm updated. This is the June contract that was in the May. But the May had a high of 353.64. We're updating this with the May until the May comes off the board, even though it's rolling over into June. That being said, the June failed below this formation here, and we've traveled up underneath it and started to wane over to the right a little bit here. So even though we're trading higher than the breakdown, this still has a likelihood of rolling over and heading to the downside. If we break above that formation decently, that'll warrant a decent strength. That's going to come in at 346.59 plus 42 per hour starting at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Maintain gap there, lower in there tomorrow would be bearish as well. Okay, and the heating oil has a decent likelihood of seeing range expansion tomorrow. Okay, Tuesday, we left the minor bullish reversal below warned about. We rallied 52.67 cents from the 344.86 open. That was in the May contract. And today we did not make new highs in the May, although we did in the June. And then Tuesday, oh, I'm sorry, that was the trade below this formation right here in the June at 386.63 plus 57 per hour. We're under pressure. We only saw pressure down into here before traveling up underneath it, but still holding it and are starting to roll over a bit. And on the day, this went out looking weak as well. So if this starts into a bearish correction, we might start dipping down into these levels here. If we break above this line decently, that's going to warrant a decent strength again. That's going to come in at 403.61 plus 57 per hour starting at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, and the Brent tomorrow has a good likelihood of seeing range expansion. A maintained gap lower tomorrow will leave a minor bearish reversal above. Okay, we did retire one large call today. The trade below 106.85 brought in $20.76 of pressure. That's being taken off. Tuesday, we left a minor bullish reversal below warned about, and we had rallied 11.59 from the 90.60 open. And a little bit more than that today, up to 102.63. We had broken below this steep formation right here, which was bearish, but we've traveled up underneath it. Still haven't broken it back above it. So that does have a likelihood of rolling over still. If we do break back above it, that's going to warrant a decent strength again. That's going to come in at 104.52 plus 15 per hour starting at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, I would note also that the trade above this formation right here is a significant formation, and that projects this upward $14. And we've only attained 484 of that. So although short term this is bearish right in here, even though it's higher, if we break above that, we'll likely start to see more of that. If we fail back down through this line decently, that's going to warrant a decent pressure. That's going to come in at 96.41 minus 1.5 per hour starting at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if we saw a pressure below there, it could be substantial, might even precipitate a washout down into these levels down into here at 83.44 minus, not that it's projected down there if we break below there, but it's just a good likelihood. A decent penetration there overnight is going to be 155 up until tomorrow's open. US Open. Okay, and the gas oil went out warning of pressure here overnight before / if resuming higher trade. Maintain gap lower in there tomorrow. It's going to leave a minor bearish reversal above. Gas oil has a similar picture to these other ones. Monday, we left a minor bullish reversal below warned about. We rallied 177.5 from the 1023.75 open and a little bit more than that up to 1205.25. Although we broke below this steep pattern here and traveled up underneath it without ever hitting the stop above it, and they're starting to roll a little bit. We further fail below this lower formation, which is going to come in at 1176.50 plus 137 per hour starting at 8 o'clock p.m. That's going to warrant a decent pressure. If we break below there decently, back up through it decently, look for decent short covering to come in. And a decent penetration above the upper line, which is going to come in at 1209.82 plus 192 per hour starting at 8 o'clock p.m. That'll warrant a continued strength. A decent penetration there overnight is going to be 22. And heading into tomorrow, the heating oil is the strongest of the three, the crude oil in the middle, and the RBOB, the weakest of the three relative to one another. I would note, keeping in mind that this RBOB crack seasonally is still bullish. We've had that listed right in here. down here by the RBOB crack on 416, exit 528. So we've seen a pretty steady rock upwards in there. Okay, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in tomorrow's podcast.